So welcome back to part 2 of this Parris Q repair video. If you watched part 1, you'll know there was never meant to be a part 2. It should all have been wrapped up in one video, but we ran into an unforeseen issue. So just to recap on what we did in part 1, if you haven't watched that, this Q butt was sent to us and it was destroyed basically. There was 3 big splits in it. They all needed to be put back together. Joint needed to be refitted. So all of that was done in part 1. And then all that work went well, so perfectly happy with kind of how that went. And then when we screwed it to the shaft, you could see that the shaft wasn't straight. So it indicated that there was something wrong with the male part of the joint. So when I put it in the lathe, you could clearly see that it wasn't spinning true at all. So in part 2 of the video, we're going to work on this side, the male side. So I've removed the joint from the Q. So just need to set it up in the lathe. We'll change the chuck, set it up and just see if there's any damage to this, or if it just wasn't set right, or if it had moved. So it could be a number of things really. So we just need to eliminate them one by one and then work out exactly what needs to be done. It's not the end of the world if this joint is damaged. We can make a new one. So it's a standard screw thread, so it's not going to be difficult to make a new one. But hopefully it is okay. At first glance it does look okay, but again, difficult to see without putting it in the machine. So we'll take it over to the lathe, change the chucks, get this set up, and then we'll have a better idea of what needs to be done. Perfect. There you go, that's good. So that's one thing eliminated then. So we know that this joint is absolutely fine. There's no issue with that. So it obviously either moved in the Q or was never right originally. Not sure if the Q had any work done previously, so a bit unusual, but it definitely wasn't right. So this face, there are some marks on the face of this, so before we do anything else, I'm just going to take a skim across the face of this just to make it a good clean surface. I can do the same on the joint that's in the butt, so when they go together then they're going to mate perfectly. So we'll do that and then we can move on to the next step. So we'll put a dowel in there and then that'll be a nice fresh piece of wood then to be able to drill and fit the new joint into. It'd be better than just trying to refit it into the existing hole. You can't really do that. So we'll make a little dowel, put it in, and then move on. So we've cleaned up both faces of the male part of the joint, and I'm just going to take a light skim off the female side. When they screw together at the moment, it's a good connection. It does appear to be a good connection, but it doesn't appear to be like absolutely perfect in certain places. So again, you know, it's obviously a lot of force has gone through it to snap it like it was. So we'll just take a light skim off the front of the female side, and then we got fresh faces all around then basically, so you should get a real solid connection. Yeah, you can see, hopefully you can see just on this edge here that we haven't quite cleaned it up, so it was obviously not quite flat. So we'll just take another fraction. You're not taking much at all here. And that's it done. So that should give us a much better connection now. Yeah, and it does. There's no gaps there at all. Definitely worth doing that. Okay, so now we can move on to the next part, and we'll just get this set into the shaft, and hopefully that'll be the end of this repair. Before I take it out of the machine, I just thought I'd show you like how true that joint is actually running. So we've cleaned up both faces. So you can see there's no issue at all there. So providing this goes into the shaft where we want, nice and accurately and straight, then there won't be any issues. So yeah, pretty confident with how this one's going to go now. Get any dust out of there. Now I'll just put some adhesive. It's not going to need much. Put some on the face as well. And then we'll just put some around the threads of the joint. And that'll do it. So we'll just use the flat face of the drill chuck to press that joint in. That can set overnight now, and then when we come back tomorrow, we're on the home straight then. Shouldn't be any other issues, and I'd expect it to go back together perfectly. So come back tomorrow and see how we get on. Okay, so this has been drying over the weekend, and hopefully there's no further issues. There shouldn't be. You could see how far out the joint was when it was in the shaft, so we knew it wasn't in there properly. And then when we actually checked the joint, you could see that the joint itself was fine. So that still looks like it's running very, very true. So there may be some glue residue on there. Double check that. That looks pretty good. So let's get it out and see, shall we? That's better. Perfect. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Great. Let's take it over the bench. We'll have a closer look at it. So there's some excess glue to clean up off this male side. And obviously, if you watch part one, you'll have seen that when this butt went back together, it needed to be sanded to get rid of all the excess adhesive there as well, and just make it all true again. So this bottom joint is slightly oversized on one edge, so we just need to put it back in the machine, give it a light sand. You're not taking much off the outer diameter at all, but it's if you don't do it, you'll be able to feel it. It's amazing what your fingertips will pick up. You'll feel the smallest dent in a cue, the smallest lip on a joint you'll feel, even though if you measured it, it's probably not even 1/10 of a mil, less than that, probably half that. But yeah, we'll get it back in the machine. But I'm really happy that this has come out now, and the fact that it's perfectly true again. Whether it was originally, I don't know. Don't know what this cue looked like when it was in one piece, but the customer will be happy with that now. So yeah, fingers crossed we can get this finished today. We'll just, like I say, flush this off, and then we can start to oil it today. Even if it takes a few days to oil, it'll be ready to go back to the customer this week. And that's another job ticked off the list. Nice cues, these ambassadors. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is between the ambassadors and the classics, because I've certainly seen, I'm not sure if one is meant to be better than the other, but I've definitely seen examples where they're kind of both as good as each other, and this is a nice one. I think the ambassadors are more expensive, but I could be wrong. Don't tend to follow that, to be honest. Same with the Tom Prams and cues like that. People ask me what they're worth, and the honest answer is I don't really pay that much attention. Yeah, it's looking good. Right, this won't take long. Get the dust extraction set up, and we'll get this one finished. There's a few dinks and dents and missing grain and that kind of thing in the shaft of this one, so the customer wanted that sorted out as well. So I've just done that off camera, and now the whole queue is ready to be oiled. So this is the finishing oil that I use. It's a blend of different oils, and it's just something I've kind of found works well over the years. Linseed oil base with a couple of extra bits in there, but yeah, it tends to come up with a good shine. It dries quite hard, not like just a basic raw linseed oil finish, but couldn't be happier with how that's gone. All in all, you can't see that at all. That's looking really nice, really nice. So this finish will build up over a couple of days. It's different for each queue, but the fact that this one has been finished before and it's not raw timber, there'll be oils within that, so that will help it finish a bit quicker than it would do otherwise. That pretty much brings us to the end of this one. I'll show you some photographs when it's oiled and properly finished over the next couple of days. Put some still shots up of that at the end of the video. The next video we're going to do will be another Parris queue. It's an extension video. So the customer, it's quite a long queue anyway. The queue is like 58 inches long, but the customer wants it extended by quite a bit. Like there's 4 inches to go on it. So there's a couple of ways you could approach it. The customer's given us free rein really to resplice it however we want, so we can use that to our advantage and use some lightweight exotics which will help to keep the weight down, and it'll help us to better place the balance point. So that'll be the next one. That probably will be a two-parter as well, purely because there's quite a lot of work involved in that and a lot of different steps to explain. But I hope you enjoyed watching this one. Like and share the video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.